Your dog is barking aggressively on your side of the gate. Your other dog is barking back outside the gate. Seeing how dumb they look, you open the gate. Then for some reason, the barking abruptly stops. The charging stalls. One dog suddenly becomes deeply interested in sniffing a random patch of grass on the ground. The other turns its head entirely away, staring off into space. We call it gate bravery, or fence frustration. To a human, this looks like a classic internet troll, someone who screams insults from behind the safety of a computer screen, but turns completely silent the second they have to face someone in real life. We laugh at them. We call them keyboard warriors. We assume they're just all bark and no bite. But animals do not understand the concept of hypocrisy. They don't have egos that need protecting through fake bravado, and they don't play pretend. Every single drop of aggression that dog showed behind the gate was 100% real. The terror, the anger, the adrenaline, it was all genuine. And the sudden silence the moment the gate opened, that was real too. So what is actually happening inside a dog's brain during those 3 seconds? The answer doesn't just explain why your dogs turn into a monster at the fence line. It unlocks a massive secret about canine psychology, the hidden curse of modern human architecture, and an ancient survival code that has been running inside our pets' heads for over 15,000 years. To understand why a gate turns a regular dog into a warrior, we have to look at how a dog actually sees the world. Humans are visual creatures. We see a gate, and our brain processes it as a property line, a legal designation of land owned by a human. We see the metal bars, we see the sidewalk, and we understand the social contract that keeps people on one side and the dog on the other. A dog does not understand property deeds. A dog understands territory. In the wild, territory is life. Territory is where your food is, where your water is, where your pack sleeps, and where your offspring are safe. If an outsider walks into your territory unchallenged, it means your resources are at risk. For a wolf, allowing a stranger to wander into your space without a fight could mean starvation or death for the pack. When we brought dogs into our homes, we didn't erase that genetic programming. We just resized it. Your house and your yard became their territory. But modern human architecture did something incredibly weird to this instinct. It introduced the concept of the transparent barrier. Think about a chain link fence, a wrought iron gate, or a front window. To a dog, these objects are an evolutionary paradox. Their eyes tell them that a stranger is encroaching directly on their territory. The person is right there, but their body tells them they cannot physically reach them to push them away. When a dog sees a person or another dog approaching the fence, their natural instinct is to investigate. They want to move forward, sniff the stranger, assess the threat level, and perform a normal canine greeting ritual. But the gate blocks them. Inside the dog, that inability to move forward causes an immediate, massive spike in cortisol and adrenaline. The dog's nervous system goes into overdrive. Because they can't access the stimulus, their brain misinterprets the restriction as a high-stakes crisis. The energy has nowhere to go. It can't be converted into movement, so it gets converted into sound and fury. They bark, they growl, they spin in circles, and they snap at the air. To the human on the sidewalk, it looks like the dog wants to attack. But in reality, the dog is experiencing a massive emotional short circuit. The gate isn't just keeping the stranger out, it's locking the dog's emotions in. So if the dog is convinced they're a warrior protecting the kingdom, why do they fold the second the gate slides open? This is the exact moment the human interpretation completely fails. We think the dog backed down because it realized it didn't have the courage to fight. But the truth is far more fascinating. The moment the gate opened, the dog's entire reality changed. When the gate is closed, the dog has total clarity. The rules of engagement are incredibly simple. There is an inside and there is an outside. The inside is safe, controlled, and owned by the dog. The outside is unpredictable and hostile. The gate serves as a psychological shield. It guarantees that no matter how much the dog yells, the stranger cannot actually hit back. It's a low-risk, high-reward ecosystem. But when that gate slides open, that entire ecosystem dissolves in an instant. Suddenly, the boundary between inside and outside is wiped out. The protective shield is gone. The dog is no longer standing in a secure fort. They're suddenly exposed to the open world. In animal behavior, this triggers an immediate shift from territorial defense to an ancient survival mechanism known as the fight or flight option. When the barrier barrier vanishes, the dog is forced to make an immediate real-world calculation. When the gate was closed, the stranger was a distant visual concept. Now, the stranger is a physical entity sharing the exact same space, and this is where canine social etiquette takes over. Dogs are not naturally chaotic anarchists who want to fight everyone they see. True physical combat in the animal world is incredibly expensive. It costs calories, it risks injury, and an infected bite wound can mean death. Because of this, canines have evolved an incredibly complex, highly sensitive system of social signals designed specifically to avoid fighting. When two off-leash dogs meet in an open field, they don't sprint at each other head-on while screaming. That is considered incredibly rude and aggressive in dog language. Instead, they approach slowly, they avoid direct eye contact, which is seen as a challenge. They drop their heads, tilt their bodies sideways, and check each other's scent profiles from a respectful distance. Behind a closed gate, a dog cannot perform any of this polite social choreography. The barrier prevents it. They are trapped in a permanent head-on stance, but the very second the gate opens, the option for polite canine diplomacy is suddenly placed back on the table. The sudden drop in aggression isn't cowardice. It is a rapid, pragmatic pivot to de-escalation. If you want proof that this isn't just about gates, then let's take a look at your dog's second most confusing item, the leash. There is a condition known as leash reactivity. You might have a dog that is perfectly sweet at the dog park. They run around with 20 other animals, share toys, and never cause a single problem. But the moment you clip a 6-foot nylon leash onto their collar and walk down the sidewalk, they transform. If another dog passes by on the opposite side of the street, your dog starts lunging, choking themselves, and snapping like a wild animal. To a human, this makes no sense. Why is the dog friendly when they are completely free, but aggressive when they are attached to their owner? It is the exact same illusion as the open gate. The leash is a barrier. When a dog is off leash, they know they have options. If an intimidating dog approaches them, they can simply run away. They have space. Because they know they can escape, their anxiety stays low. They feel safe enough to be polite. But when you clip a leash onto a dog, you remove their ability to fly. You trap them in a tiny 6-foot radius. If an unfamiliar dog walks toward them while they are on a leash, their brain starts to panic. And just like the gate, humans accidentally reinforce this. When your dog throws a tantrum on the leash, what do? You pull them away and walk faster. We are essentially teaching our dogs to become online commentators. We give them a barrier, a fence, a window, a leash that protects them from the consequences of their communication, and then we wonder why they develop an attitude. We have built an environment that rewards them for screaming at the walls, and then we get confused when they get quiet the moment the walls come down. We took an animal whose brain was designed to roam across vast, open plains, tracking scents over miles of wilderness, and we put them inside a suburban backyard with a 4-foot wooden fence. We surrounded them with sights and sounds they can see but can never touch.
If you enjoyed the video and would like to see more contents exploring weird animal behaviors and other things, like and subscribe.